Thanks for staying on LN 24/7. This is Politics Now. My name is Morno Balagobo. The conversation tonight is not far-fetched of what is already making the rounds in the polity, talking about the waves of defections, concerns about the state of democracy and all of that. Tonight we'll try to make progress on that conversation again, focusing majorly on the wave of defections to the APC. That's our topic for today. Our talking points will focus first on the rationale behind opposition's loss of members. Quite a lot of people are still trying to grapple with what is going on. You would think that in the midst of increasing spate of insecurity, economic hardship still prevailing in the land, that the all progressive members would still be bagging new members, pulling from the well of PDP that keeps on giving over and over and over again. Our second conversation will focus on PDP's response, talking about moves to challenge Delta State government that was made known on Tuesday. And of course, they've been hinting on that for quite some time now. And we'll also talk about the concerns over our nation's democratic health. Our guests joining us tonight, of course, we've got PDP chieftain with us. But let's start with Barrister Osigwe Ahmed, who is a public affairs analyst, a lawyer and writer. He'll be helping us make sense of how legally there could be pushbacks to what people are calling the nation sliding into a one-party state. And talking about PDP chieftain, Anthony Bakinista, not new to the show. He's live with us from Abuja. He'll be joining us shortly. He's the former Chief Press Secretary, ECOWAS Youth Council. And our last guest for tonight is Olubenga Festus Akinkuowo, who is a legal expert. He is a solicitor of the Supreme Court right here in Abuja, managing partner, CEO at Olu Akinkuowo Law Firm, and head counsel at Rules Edge Advocates. He will be joining us live all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. But before we come to all of the conversation, we'll take a quick breather and then break it all down for you. So sit back and relax. We'll be right back. So let's get the conversation started. At no time in Nigeria's political history has concerns over one-party state not been more worrisome, despite concerns about the state of the economy, worsening insecurity in the country. The ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, has continued to hugely benefit from unbroken stream of high-profile defections into its ranks. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, seems to be the well from which the APC members continue to expand its membership base. Now, do recall that shockwaves reverberated through the nation's political scene when the entire political and governmental machinery of the PDP in Delta State, led by its governor, Sheriff Obori, moved to the APC. And of course, political pundits are opining that this trend could follow suit in Rivers State, where suspended Governor Similaye Fubara is struggling for political survival, and Akwa Ibom, where Governor Umo Eno has been cuddling with the Senate President Godswill Akpabio of the APC. Now, let's speed things up for you. On Tuesday, he voiced hope that former Governor James Ibori may eventually join the All Progressive Congress, and Governor Ibori used the occasion to emphasize the importance of solidarity amongst rural political leaders. Now, if this happens, the PDP will lose its prized South-South resource-rich home base, which it has dominated for 26 years. And this is coming in from the Vanguard or Punch reports now. Now, already the zone's next door neighbor, the Southeast, has only one PDP state, that's Enugu, down from 5. Now, even the zone's sole PDP governor, talking about Peter Mba, appears to be fraternizing with the APC towards 2027. So that's an opener to our conversation. Now, on the issue of the legality of what APC is doing, the National Working Committee, NWC, of the People's Democratic Party resolved to initiate legal proceedings against Delta State Governor and other key stakeholders who recently defected to the All Progressive Congress. Now, the party's leadership, after a marathon 6-hour closed-door meeting at its national secretariat in Abuja on Tuesday, directed the PDP National Legal Advisor to commence the process of reclaiming what it termed the party's stolen mandate in Delta State. And in that communique, following the meeting, the party directed its National Legal Advisor to initiate a legal process to reclaim its mandate from the Delta State Governor and others who defected from the party. We have a brief soundbite on what they said about what they were going to do legally. Let's have a listen.
I want to use also this opportunity once more condemn what has happened in Delta. I'm glad, I've said it earlier, that the party, the governor and our vice presidential candidate has not faulted the party, nor did the party did anything wrong, rather than their wish, according to them, to join the party, which to me, we've taken it with all sorts of regret and the pains that has gone down with us. I want to also use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that election is not done by leaders but by people. The PDP is still a brand that all of them are jealous of. And I believe this should not weigh us down. Rather, should make us up our sleeves so that come 2027, Nigerians will speak. They can coerce, like I said earlier, cajole and intimidate our members into joining them. But they can only do that because they feel they have what it takes. When the time comes, they will receive the result from Nigerians. It has happened before, and it will repeat itself. The parameters that will make Nigerians revolt against them is all in place. This government has been so insensitive to the yearnings and feelings of people. They have nothing so far, they have not shown.
Well, that was the soundbite of Damagun. So moving away from that, beyond the immediate concerns surrounding defections, the NWC also adopted key recommendations from its Governors Forum. And the committee fixed May 28 for the party's next National Executive Committee meeting and scheduled the PDP National Convention to hold from August 28 to 30th, 2025. And also, Nigeria's democratic health is under scrutiny due to its wave of defections from opposition parties to the All Progressive Congress. If this persists, people are saying our political stability stands shaken, and we could see ideological erosion and the risk of one-party dominance. And while defections are framed by the presidency rather as democratic freedom, they often reflect elite self-interest rather than voter will. And the APC's absorption of opposition figures may consolidate power, but risks alienating victims citizens rather already grappling with economic hardship and insecurity as seen in unrelated reports of violence and economic crisis. So let's get to the conversation. Our guests are live with us. Of course, we've got Osigwe Ahmed from Lagos, Nigeria. Thanks so much for being with us, Osigwe. Hello, can you hear me?
Thank you very much for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. We also have Tonye Bakanista joining us from Abuja. Good evening to you, and thank you so much for being with us on the show. Okay, I
Can
seem
you
to
hear
have
me?
issues with your audio, but I can see you clearly. Okay, we also
Okay.
have Akinkuo, who is a legal practitioner in Lagos, Nigeria, joining us. Good evening, and thanks for being with us, sir. All right, so let's get the conversation started. So let's come to
My
Osigwe. I seem to hear you. Hopefully, we will come shortly to Akinkowo and also Tonye Bakanista for being with us. So let's come to you, Osigwe. This matter regarding the issue of waves of defections, there's been this legal conundrum that, when you leave a particular political platform that elects you and then you move to another political party, there seems to be this controversy of whether there's a legal way to make you pay for that particular crime, so to speak. They call it a political crime. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, it depends on the political office. For legislators, it's clear that you can't defect except if
Hello, can you hear me?
possible, very clearly and very loudly.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
like
go
I'm
ahead.
saying, all right. So it depends on the office. Depending on the office, for the legislative branch, you really cannot defect except there is a merger, or if your party has political divisions or crisis. And many times you see those legislators trying to fabricate and manufacture crises so that they can find a leeway to to defect. For the executive, there is no constitutional impediment to defection. They have the right to be in any political party at any time. However, since they were sponsored by a political party, as a matter of fact, in Nigeria, it's only a political party that can sponsor a candidate. Therefore, the political party can say, after I've spent XYZ amount on you, you are supposed to advance the interest of our party, of course, for the country, and you've left us. The party can shout as much as it wants, it can cry as much as it wants, but there's nothing. This matter has been litigated several times. There's I think the best you can do, I don't know, it's well, I'm pretty sure it hasn't been tried, is to probably ask for damages, to say, this party should pay us for taking our candidate, whatever it is. But you cannot stop anybody from defecting. It's absolutely not possible if the person is in the executive branch of office. So it's going to have to be a political position, not a legal position. And I do not know the laws they are trying to conjure here. I think it's just a drowning man trying to throw as much punches as possible so that he can be seen to be doing something. PDP ought to realize.
I seem not to be able to hear you, Osigwe.
Oh my, okay.
Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
So let me know where you lost me. I was
No,
saying in
it wasn't for
conclusion,
long. Just go ahead.
okay, I was saying in conclusion, PDP is probably suffering from I get them before mentality. That's the kind of mindset of once upon a time I used to have it all. I once boasted that I will rule Nigeria for 60 years and for eternity, and they have somehow, wasted. Now they are in a squabble, they've lost a lot, and I think it's going to get worse for the PDP. There is no legal solution. They can't stop the executive member from defecting, and I expect more waves of defection. PDP simply is not a party it used to be, and I don't think by their actions they have realized that there is a need to be pro people. They're still having a little bit of arrogance as a formal, political party in the national level. Very soon it may end up being a regional party.
All right. I mean, that's not really some kind words from you there, Osigwe, but I can get the comic there. All right. So let's head over to the PDP man with us. Tonye, are you still with us?
You can hear me? Hello?
I can hear you very clearly. I hope you can.
Yeah, I can hear you, Barrister. Can you hear me?
I think you can proceed. Probably, but yeah, pardon my kind words
No,
for
I
your
can't hear
party.
the host. Oh, well, I can't hear the host, so there's no way I can proceed.
But I think he can hear you. So I'll be the one now. I'll be the new host for this section since I can
Okay.
hear both sides.
Wow.
Our
Okay, I can hear
producers
him now.
will. Okay, you can hear me now.
I can hear you now.
All right.
Yes.
So I was asking you about your thoughts on what has happened with reference to what is going on in Delta State, Governor Sheriff, and how he moved all, I mean, the structure, political structure of that very, very resource rich state to the APC. Now, I want to get your initial reactions before we touch on some other issues. So please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. My reaction is simple. What happened in Delta State should be a lesson to PDP. PDP actually caused a self-inflicted disease, and the consequences is what we are seeing in Delta and soon to be Akwa Ibom State and very soon River State. Now, the problem is with PDP is that it's not the leadership now, it's the governors. Now, these governors created an artificial crisis where they flouted the constitution and manufactured an impostor to be national secretary. And while the law was clear, after Supreme Court judgment, they insisted on their stance. And the governors took advantage of that situation and said, look, we are leaving, we don't know who will be national secretary. See, to be fair to them, if I were in their shoe, perhaps I would have considered leaving too. Because if anybody other than the rightful national secretary signed a document to INEC or to any of the stakeholders, and tomorrow the court render it invalid, or it is rendered invalid, it means that any aspirant or any candidate from the PDP that secures victory through that process will lose his or her seat. We've seen it in Zamfara. We saw it in River State 19. So the governors are also trying to play safe, but at the time, they created the crisis. So what I feel PDP should do is, rather than go to court, come on, you cannot take the governor to court because one, he has immunity, and there is no way you file a civil suit against the governor without listing him as a party. Now, once you list him as a party, you have already lost the case. I'm not a lawyer, but this is my own political understanding. Now, so that cannot be litigated. Now, the issue of the as legislators, again, yes, they have legitimate right to say, look, we are defecting based on the perceived or real divisions in the party. And it's up to the party now to prove otherwise. Because even up to this point, or rather up to the day that they switched, the party was still having two national secretaries. One, in my own words, in my own view, legitimate national secretary, and another manufactured acting national secretary by the Governors Forum. So again, it's a self-inflicted disease. I
Presidency
can't tell
has
you.
said. Yeah, the presidency said that, I mean, members of the PDP that are leaving are not actually forced to leave. Do you think that the APC is to blame, or you think this is solely on your party's fault?
No, no, no. See, I don't agree with the position of opposition members blaming the presidency for the defection of. See, every Nigerian have right to association. I'm a PDP man. I've been a PDP man for more than 20 years, and I will still be a PDP man at least until the law says so. But I will not go to APC. That is clear. Now the truth is that since 2023, after this new dispensation came in force, the PDP governors have been uh, kind of genuflecting before the president. After their victories at the tribunals and the Supreme Court, go and fact check me. All of them, they praised the judiciary and they praised the president. None of them praised the PDP that sponsored them. In December 2023, they all pledged loyalty to the president's support and everything. So I have seen this coming. And I have warned that if the party leadership don't step in, we will lose our leaders, we will lose our governors. Because the confidence of party members is no longer there. Even the PDP governors are not sure of themselves. So they are now looking for a cheap way out. In fact, let me tell you, they need the president, or rather, they feel that they need the president more than the president needs them. So I don't see anything like blackmail, cajole, or threats or intimidation for them to defect. I don't see it. In fact, I'm very much aware that these governors lobbied to join the APC, and some are still lobbying. We have the facts. So again, the truth about it is that as a party member, my position still remains that the party should reform itself. We should forget
Okay.
about blaming external factors. Fix your
Now,
house in order.
Tony, we will
Then
come
you
to the
cannot take
issue
the
of reform. We will come to the issue of reform, but
okay.
let me bring in Barrister Osigwe. Now, you've been following this conversation, and former Minister Solomon Dalong argued.
I can't hear you.
It's breaking. The audio is breaking.
The audio is breaking,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, can you hear me
Okay,
now?
better.
Is it better?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes,
better.
it is.
Okay. All right, so I'm coming to you, Osigwe. This question is for you. So
Yes.
you look at what Tony the comments from Solomon Dalong. So what are your take on this? Because these
Come
governors, so
again.
to
Come,
speak,
come again with that comment.
you said?
Come again with the comment of the former governor of
Okay, yeah, he talked
Dalong. Yes.
about the fact that former, I beg your pardon, Minister
Minister.
Solomon Dalong, yes, he
Minister.
talked about the fact
Yes.
that these defections are based on survival and protection. So when you hear what Tony talked about, these governors even lobbying the president for them to come in, what do you make of it?
Well, I think in this case, I'll quote, the current senator representing my central district, Adams Ushomole, Comrade Adams Ushomole. He once said, and I quote, when you join the APC, or since you have joined the APC, your sins are forgiven. Maybe it was joking. I think obviously he meant that as a joke. But whatever it is, it's a cliche that has been, very popular. It's been made popularized several people have had issues and somehow they tend to join the APC. Then again, most people just like it and feel safe in the middle. This is not the first time it's happening. The PDP enjoyed it when they had it. Now power seems to be changing. People, even PDP members, do not really see the possibility of PDP successfully wrestling power in 2027. So many of them just tend to think that it's safer at the center. Let's head there. So I don't think it's intimidation per se. A governor has immunity, like my brother said clearly. So of course, we're not still going to blind our eyes from whatever happened in River State. So maybe that may seem like a carrot and stick effect, where the president somehow fabricated and manufactured powers and saying anything about the absurdity, I do not want to use words that are offensive on the air, but I think it's difficult to digest and decide how to spend people's money, and all of us should be quiet. The affront, the brazen injustice the offensiveness of this to the very extent, but we all swallowed it. The PDP governors didn't do much. They didn't say much. If there was ever a time there to come together and make a noise, it was in us. For whatsoever thing that happened in Rivers is against common sense. It is unconstitutional. It can never, it cannot, it's not even, there's not even, the sole administrator is a joke. I don't even think there's a sole administrator. I dare say a sole administrator is an absurdity. Drag you into something that is not here. A state of emergency simply means bring in the military to take care of the security. That's what it means. It doesn't mean bring in an individual to manage a state. Bring in the security, the military, who ordinarily ought not to be there, as the police are the ones to check the state. But in a state of emergency, the president says, I don't trust you with this policemen. I'm going to bring my military men. I'll bring the air force, bring the army to run and do day-to-day things that the police ought to do. That is the extent of state of emergency. And the current absurdity happening in River State is something that all the governors swallowed. And all of a sudden, you want the same people who swallow this, you know. I think we're used to this Nigerian political system. PDP and APC, to us, are two sides of a coin. It's one and the same thing, 10 and 10 pence. So we are not deceived. The Nigerian people are waiting for hope,
Perhaps Tonye
a
would
real
disagree with
hope,
you
and
if
it's not coming
PDP
in
and
the form of
APC.
PDP, in my opinion.
Okay.
Sorry, I've lost you once
Trying to
more. I
get
can't
through
really
to you.
hear the.
Yes. So I wanted to ask Tonye because you said that, I mean, PDP and APC, there's just no difference, which boils down to the problem of ideology. So I want to speak to the PDP man now. What ideology did you think PDP, had prior to this time, and what makes the APC's ideology so enticing for people to, come in? It's not even just about the PDP now, because even Labour Party lawmakers have also left, NNPP and all of that. So we were seeing a country grappling, with a lot of challenges, and the ruling party seems to be the one drawing from the well and just increasing its base. So, Toye, what's your thoughts? Do you think that the political class is isolating itself from the people that put them in power? Are they playing down on the power of the people who put them in office?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I beg to disagree when our learned Sikh said PDP and APC are the same. We are not the same. PDP is a nationalist party. APC is a party owned by. Now, in PDP, there are no owners. In APC, there are two de facto owners. I'm talking about the former president and the incumbent president. You and I can attest that in PDP, to be something, you don't need to go and bow down before any individual. But in APC, you either have to go to Taura or you go to Asura. Before May 23, May 29, 2023, you have to go to Bodilon. But now the Mr. Bodilon has relocated to Asurok. So these are the two places you have to go and Dobale. Now, that is there. And PDP believed in nationalism. Under PDP, there is no such thing as nepotistic appointments. There is no such thing as pretentious prosecution of indicted officials. Now, it was under the PDP that we saw a minister fired. I'm talking of Fibia Osuji. He was fired for allegedly bribing the Senate under the leadership of Senator Adolfo Sabara. The senator himself, the Senate president at that then, was also impeached and prosecuted, and a lot of National Assembly members were prosecuted. Also, PDP fired an incumbent Inspector General of Police over corruption. But in APC, we've not seen anything of such. Even Betta Edu, for instance, a scandal. She has not been prosecuted up to this time. So please, saying PDP or APC are the same thing, to me, it just an offense to the sensibility of Nigerians that have experienced both parties. Now, I'm talking about ideology. Ideologically, unfortunately, PDP is supposed to be a social democratic party. Unfortunately, the PDP president of Obasanjo in 1999 brought in the politics of incumbent command the government, and the party was run at the whims and caprices of whoever is the president at national level or the governor at state level. Understand? Now, I agree with you that political parties in Nigeria today, PDP inclusive and not ideological driven. But it doesn't mean that there are no differences. There are still differences by their operations and by their actions. I don't know what I get now.
Yeah, I get your point, Tony. Hello, Toye. Yeah, I get your point. Okay,
Yeah,
just permit me for us to take a quick breather. We'll be right back. Let's just take a quick break and sharpen our breaths, and then we get back to the conversation. Still stay with us. We'll be right back.
okay, thank you.
LN 24/7 is first of all a news station.
We continue with updates from the just concluded governorship
in the southeast has raised questions if INEC will be able to conduct elections.
With a core team of over 40 correspondents spread across Nigeria.
Nigeria is set to take its place.
And affiliates in Africa, Europe, America, and Asia. We give you news as it breaks from the perspective you can trust.
LN 24/7 News, where the story goes, we go.
Many thanks for still staying with us on LN 24/7. If you just tuned in, this is Politics Now, and we are trying to make sense of the recent wave of defections and the implications of what it means, not just for the politicians alone, but also for Nigeria in the midst of increasing spate of insecurity in the country and also economic challenges. So let's run through our talking points once more. We started off trying to unpack all that is going on regarding the rationale that is driving opposition's loss of members. Quite unfortunate. And also PDP's response moves to challenge the Delta State government. We have credible lawyers with us who are helping us see the light. So I wonder what that suit is going to look like, and also concerns for our nation's democratic health. And it's on that note, I want us to come back to, let's come back to Osigwe. I will come to Toye, our wonderful guest who are with us, Ahmed Osigwe. He's a legal practitioner and also a public affairs analyst. And also Toye is live with us from Abuja, of course, where we are broadcasting from LN 24/7 studios, who are still
Sorry, the sound is off again.
now.
If you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes. No.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's talk about the implications of these for the people, the trust of the people. What does these defections do? And then we will move from there to the implications as far as 2027 is concerned. So let's have your thoughts.
Well, I think most people, you vote for a candidate as much as it's a political party that sponsors a person, is the candidate that went out and campaigned. And at the end of the day, I believe that largely speaking, you vote for a candidate in the executive realm. So, but when it comes to the legislative, even though they are really not supposed to, I don't think there's any legal solution to it. Partly divided. They have, fulfilled that requirement of the law, and I do not think that necessarily is a cheat, or they are stealing people's money. It's a different thing when somebody entirely comes into play and, like, I didn't vote for you. Remember what played out in Kogi State, and some time ago in River State also, where people say, "Hey, this man, I didn't vote for him," and they say it's the party that matter over the person. I do not agree with that school of thought. I believe it's the person that matters over the party. So if you anywhere you go, it's the same. You will listen to you. We can hold you accountable because you promised us AXYZ and you didn't deliver. So having the governor, whether it's in APC, PDP, I don't think it will change much. A person is his person. And at the end of the day, I still believe that APC and PDP, they are two sides of the same coin. Nigeria started in 1999. I remember Tony Aneni. I remember President Obasanjo. I remember how they went on impeaching and abusing power recklessly. So APC and PDP, we should not borrow this political concept of political amnesia and forget the bad because we have something even worse right now. now. PDP was not a saint, it's not a political party for saints, and I will say it anytime and any day. So I think the people should just look out there, 2027, expect fresh hair. This time around, try and get, this existing political order we have right now, the one we've had since 2000 and since 1999 till 2014, and APC, who has probably made PDP a saint. If APC have succeeded in doing anything, is to make APC think that is a political party of saints, because PDP was a disaster, but APC has made that disaster seem like this is something that we can, we should clamor for. That's how terrible APC has been. Doesn't necessarily mean PDP was, well, we had it rosy under PDP. So my prayer and my inspiration for Nigerians going forward is that come 2027, something fresh, something different. Let's really throw out this political existing order that has failed Nigerians, that has driven us back. We have had enough time to rebuild and entrench decency in Nigeria. If not development, at least decency. Decency, that's the best we're asking for. Let people's life be safe when they're traveling. Let people eat. Let people have a sense of, so right now the political system has failed, and it's difficult because if you look at the PDP, who am I looking at in APC? Akpabio, the same transformational governor, they go back and forth and back, and it's so difficult to find where they are. Aside the current president, I do not think there's any major political player in Nigeria that has not defected at one point or another. Currently in office, almost everybody have cross-carpeted left and right depending on where they get their ticket. So rightly speaking, there's no political ideology in this country. There's a system, a group of people, no matter the nomenclature they come by, they are the same thing. They are there to plunder this country, and it's difficult. So let's look aside the political parties and change the existing order and find credible persons that we vote and support, and forget this whole story about political party. Persons can change things. People can change things. Parties, right, most times are people just try to create jobs. For many of our politicians, I'll tell you, please go get a job. Plundering the Nigerian asset it shouldn't be your 9 to 5. But they just get into office and reap as fast as possible. And it's difficult to just go on Nigerian political party system without being passionate or emotional. But we have not had it best from all the political parties or the major political parties since 1999 to date, and it's a tragedy, if you ask me.
Toyin, now, what are the implications?
Well, for me, I sympathize with the people of Delta State. The reason is because the APC historically in the country has not been fair to those that they govern. And as much as PDP is not perfect, and PDP is not a party of saints, but PDP is a party with conscience to an extent. And I also see, I also feel that the governor of the state and also the appointees and others, if they have honor, they should resign. Why do remember I said I don't blame them, but they should resign. Why do I say so? People voted for PDP at the April general election in 2023. People voted for PDP during the National Assembly election in February 2023. Nobody voted for APC in Delta State. Now, the positions that the mandate they gave to PDP, the governor and the other political establishment from the PDP, due to their own personal interest, they've left to the APC and they took our mandate to the APC. It's our mandate. Now, whether we agree or not, the political party sponsors the candidate. The candidate did not sponsor the political organization, the political party. Political party is like a family. No man can live in isolation with a family. Now, if as a member of a family, your family is given a parcel of from that parcel of land, and you say, okay, I don't want to be part of the family any longer. Yes, no way you will keep that parcel of land, because that land belongs to the family, not to you. You understand? So this is my take. Unfortunately, there is no defined legal framework to retrieve this mandate. And this is where we agree with the legal that there is no way this can be retrieved, especially that of the executive. For the legislature, well, there is an excuse for them, which to me is justified. Legally, morally, is not justified. However, the law has no emotions. In my own view, But I think that going forward, Nigerians, the PDP as a party should learn and reform itself, make itself very attractive to not just outsiders, not just non-party members rather, but to its members. Let the members see the as a platform, a vehicle that is sustainable to take them to their destination and move them to the next destination, so that we will not have a repeat of what has happened. I remember during the Obasanjo time, PDP was very strong and attractive because it was seen as a viable and workable platform. Like I said earlier, it was not a party of saints, but it's a party that has conscience to an extent compared to the APC. And I'm glad that my brother said APC has made PDP to look simply. During PDP operation, hardly do we ethnicize issues. We address issues. We acknowledge our lapses and we don't say we are innocent. We always admit that we are imperfect. But compared to the APC, even when they fail, they are the best after the coming of Donald Trump of America. So
All
I
right.
think that that Nigerians should give us a chance while we reform ourselves. 2027 is fresh for us. I remember under PDP, we buy eggs 10 naira, 15 naira. But now you buy eggs, how much? 200 naira, 250. So Nigeria should give PDP a chance. Why PDP reform itself? PDP is the only party for Nigeria as at now. I don't see any alternative. If there's any
Okay,
other
I'm
alternative,
going
we
to
will
cut
embrace
you
them.
there, Toye. Okay, so I want us to talk with Osigwe once again. Now, I want us to focus on the APC. Now, they seem to be very excited. I mean, you saw that clip of the vice president to welcome these defectors. APC is likely to face a situation whereby there will be a lot of burden of interests as to political positions, because this is something that we saw. I mean, you look at the former governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, and the fallout after he didn't get the ministerial appointment, and now he's with the SDP. And a lot of people are projecting that the APC could implode because you have a lot of people coming in. It's going to be difficult for people to, I mean, for the party to be able to keep up with the interest of these personalities. So let me hear your thoughts on that. Do you share that same opinion?
No, I don't. Absolutely. I think the man at the helm of affair in APC has somehow been able to manage long-standing friendship held from 1999 till date. I mean, governor of Delta State seemed to have the same influence. The ex-governor, I mean, James Onanefe Bori, obviously, and we know that this defection in Delta State is actually orchestrated by the ex-governor of Delta State, friend of the president. So the president seemed to have long standing friendships and alignment. And I don't know how he does it, but somehow he has his way around people who are loyal to him. And many of them are loyal to him for many, many years. And somehow I just hope he may be able to pacify them. I don't hope actually, but it seems like he may be able to pacify them. So, but I don't have sentiments for APC. I think it's sad that they are there celebrating a defection at a time where there is unimaginable crisis in the plateau, where in the Benue farmers who are the ones that feed at least a third of this country are afraid of going to farms because of the raging crisis. The hunger in the land. My brother was right talking about the price of food in Nigeria. It is almost unimaginable. There's rife hunger in the land, the north, south, east, and west, and I would dare say particularly in the north, because this is where the farming comes from. But insecurity there has made many farmers unable. So APCs they are losing their priority. They think is by getting the head men around. There's a new Nigeria forming. Nigerians are going to look at those people, whether you call yourself APC, PDP, governors, senators, and look for a credible person. We saw something similar playing out in Lagos State last election. Without much came on and won vote in Lagos. Do you understand? It shocked even in the street of Mr. President. You shouldn't forget this. That was Lagos State, and that was a good taste. And we know many things happen even in River State. Election went, rigging left, right, and center. But regardless of it, there's going to be a new Nigeria. The big political players and gladiators like they think they are, that you can get all the governors and still lose an election. That is my prediction. You can get all the senators and still lose an election, because the ordinary men of the day, there is something that unites them right now in Nigeria, a unity. in this country is no longer the former unity or political giving which PDP, sharing the national cake around so that we can unite around corruption as it was under PDP. That's not the unity we want. We want the unity that is happening right now is unity of starving stomachs. So people in Uyo, people in Potisku, people in Kano are feeling the same pain, and they're going to speak and look for one credible person, line behind that person. I think that person stands a chance to win. 2027 is not so far, but it's quite a while ago, and we will get it. I believe we'll find a credible Nigerian. Nigerians will line behind him. The ordinary men of the street will support that person, and there will be a big shock to these political elites who think it is by going to spend millions to woo, cajole, or impress the political candidates. The ordinary man will speak that day. That's my prediction in May 2027. The ordinary man will
Okay.
speak somebody shocking will be sworn in as the president of Nigeria, and I think this whole mass to stop.
Okay, so let me come to Tonye. Now, regarding the question I just posed to Osigwe, do you believe that these defections could also mean a kind of not just joining for the sake of joining, they want something. But the key question is, will the APC be able to give it to all of them? This one, even earlier, that was on Tuesday, he was talking about another governor who is getting ready to come into the party, talking about the former governor of his state. So what's your take?
Well, you know, the APC will definitely lose some members in Delta State. We have seen it before. If you may recall, about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, that is 2014, after the governors of it and some other states, they joined APC from the PDP. The former members that were there, they rejoined, they switched to the PDP. So you see, the thing is that this men, their defection is not about service. It's about ambition and interest. And most times the ambitions are in conflict with each other. Understand? So I expect an implosion in the APC. But beyond the implosion, I tend to say, and I've not been proven wrong, that the APC was formed not to serve, but to take power from the PDP. Now they've taken the power. What next? So you see, this is the challenge that the APC is facing. They cannot serve Nigeria. They cannot work, but all they know is about sharing power. And by 2027, Nigerians will speak. And if PDP reforms appropriately, Nigeria will speak in favor of PDP. Otherwise, if a new platform spring up, not the one of the coalition that Atiku is doing. Quote me, I don't believe in it. I don't believe there is an alternative. Not what those that lost out from in the former administration, not what they are doing, or what some people that have been looking for power after looking for in 2015, what they are doing, but a platform that represents the interest and mind of Nigeria. If such a platform springs up by 2027, then perhaps Nigeria will speak in that direction. However, if the status quo remains, then the PDP should just get itself reformed and then be preparing to take over the reins of power in 2027.
All right, so let me come to Barrister Osigwe as we begin to, wind down on the conversation regarding this issue of wave of defections. Now, of course, we've seen people talk about coalitions of some sort. As it stands now, the Labour Party is not interested in one. We don't know anything might happen. We still have 2 years to go to see if that could be a possibility. So when you see a giant who is already, increasing in all of its structure in terms of welcoming so many people into the party, what do you think will play out? Is a coalition needed for you? Do you think a coalition is what opposition needs at the moment? Hello, Sigwe, are you still with us? Hello? Tony, are you still with us? Hello. Okay, we'll take a quick breather, and when we come back, we'll try to tidy up our connections with our guests. To stay with us.
I want to use also this opportunity once more condemn what has happened in Delta. I'm glad, I've said it earlier, that the party, the governor and our vice presidential candidate has not faulted the party, nor did the party did anything wrong, rather than their wish, according to them, to join the party, which to me, we've taken it with all sorts of regret and the pains that has gone down with us. I want to also use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that election is not done by leaders but by people. The PDP is still a brand that all of them are jealous of. And I believe this should not weigh us down. Rather, should make us up our sleeves so that come 2027, Nigerians will speak. They can coerce, like I said earlier, cajole and intimidate our members into joining them. But they can only do that because they feel they have what it takes. When the time comes, they will receive the result from Nigerians. It has happened before, and it will repeat itself. The parameters that will make Nigerians revolt against them is all in place. This government has been so insensitive to the yearnings and feelings of people. They have nothing so far, they have not shown anything.
Well, we're out of time, but we do apologize for that network glitch. We could not conclude our conversations with our guest, but our time is fast spent. Many thanks to Tonye Bakanista, who joined us live from Abuja, and also Barrister Osigwe Ahmed, who joined us from Lagos, and also Olugbenga from Lagos, who also joined, but we could not connect with him. Many thanks, dear viewers at home, for watching. And that's the much we can take on the conversation tonight. Unfortunately, once again, my name is Morno Balagbubu. Many thanks for watching.